Welcome back. Beautiful, beautiful day here. I know it's been a while, and I know the audience, the people have been waiting for my return. Had a busy 2 weeks. I was helping with the South by Southwest volunteering. I had family come over. I had a lot of things to do. All right, but that doesn't stop the grind. It doesn't. Instead, it fuels a fire, having some time to step back. A lot of things has happened. You know, we had an amazing fight cards recently. And I won't go through all of them, unfortunately, since it's already kind of too late. But I am gonna go bits and pieces on the last weekend's card, as well as 2 upcoming fights. I won't go in too deep with them, but they will be my next videos coming up pretty soon. Now, the first thing I want to let's address the elephant in the room, was this weekend's fight. Now, the one thing I want to say is this. Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy. What was an entertaining fight. Crazy. There's moments that personally for me, I was kind of in my seats and I was watching this with my dad at a pub. All right. So he kind of saw how frustrated I was, because for one, I do think Movsar won this fight. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of slack. People will ask me how. Though granted, I don't think they had the right decision. This should have been a draw. Lerone Murphy won that second round. There was a deducted point on one of those rounds on Movsar. And then Movsar went and won the last 2 rounds. In theory, I'm being really honest here. The best it should have been and was a draw. But they could not do a draw in this fight. They really could not. This would have screwed not only Movsar, but also Murphy. And this would have prompted more Gene Silva on getting the title fight already. Which I'm not for it. He has still yet to prove. And like what Alexander Volkanovski said, hey, I'm trying to fight the true number 1 contender. He's already fought the number 2 twice on Diego Lopez. In hindsight, he shouldn't even have fought for the title twice. But hey, he got it, and Volk already beat him. And for him to fight against John Silva, who lost against Diego Lopez, it would be very absurd, and especially on Volkanovski's second title reign. All right. Movsar, I do think he beat Lerone Murphy in every aspect. On the striking, Murphy was definitely better in terms of finding the shots. But when it came to the power, Movsar was able to really put in damage against Murphy. I do believe Movsar has power. Maybe he's not super accurate with his punches to get to the chin or the temple or to the body. The overhand was doing damage and was pushing Lerone Murphy back. But it was until the moment that Movsar decided to wrestle is when the whole fight changed, which I don't understand what happened. They probably went to the back room and told Movsar, hey, you need to stop wrestling. But it's actually absurd that he didn't come out wrestling in the first 2 rounds like he usually does. In his last fight against Aljamain, which I was looking and studying before this fight, Aljamain was the one that was promptly engaging the grappling, and Movsar was able to reverse it. But in this fight, understanding Lerone Murphy has one of the worst takedown defense in the featherweight division, having been taken down already 24 times in his past 10 fights, meaning on average he gets taken down twice. But Murphy does a really good job on getting back up the cage. He literally is the featherweight division of Leon Edwards. But was it enough for him to win the fight? I do not think so. Murphy, obviously, you could tell that he would have struggled against Volkanovski because Volkanovski would have wrestled him in the beginning of the rounds. right? And Volkanovski, it's just, I don't see anywhere that Murphy could beat Volkanovski. Not on the power, not on the knockouts. He already fought against Diego Lopez. He already got knocked about Ilya, but Murphy doesn't carry that power to finish an opponent. Aaron Pico is not a good example because most of his losses came from being knocked out. So his chin has already been checked out. And until that spinning back elbow, Murphy was losing the fight. Pico was doing a good job getting him to the ground, punching him, grounding, pounding, even outstriking him. But he got caught. Murphy read him well, says, oh, he's changing levels. He went to the right. I'm going to throw my elbow. Perfect. Tried to do it with Movsar, and it did not work. 3 times he tried to do it. Movsar wasn't biting. Movsar is a far better IQ and elite fighter than Pico. However, Movsar did win the fight, in my opinion. He was just a better fighter, the better grappler. Was struggling to hold him down, which I was very surprised, but still was able to land some good punches, nice clinch. The 2 hits to the groin was annoying, and the detective points was needed, but I do think it was just enough to beat Murphy. And I want to see Movsar fight against Volk. He's earned it. He's 20-0, 10-fight winning streak. I mean, like, come on. How much time can you just negate this guy's opportunity? I get it. He's not a fan showing that people will be like, oh, we're going to see a finish. But this is the elite of the best fighters in the world. He's already beaten Dan Ige. He's already beaten Diego Lopez, who fought for the belt. He's beaten Lerone Murphy. He beaten Aljamain Sterling, who is a former bantamweight champion. He's beaten Arnold Allen, top 5. Like, what else can you deny from him? There's no one else for Movsar to fight after this. He just beat Murphy, who's ranked number 3 or 4. It's absurd. The UFC does not give Movsar a chance to fight for the belt. It has become a gimmick company. But I won't take up too much of my time. But we move on. Good fight. I really liked it. But let's move on. I want to discuss about this fight. Mason Jones versus Alex Sola. Probably won the fight of the year already. What a great showing. 1, Alex Sola has a promising career, but I won't take this away from Mason Jones' highlight. Mason Jones is him. He's built different. He loves war. I would love for him to fight against Rebecki next. That would be, stellar. Mason Jones has been already in the UFC before, was left, then comes back. And this guy is a true dog. He is a kill or be killed opponent. The way he was walking down Alex Sola, and that's because Alex Sola had good moments in the first round, knocking Mason Jones down to his knee, but Mason Jones was able to get back up, weather that storm, and was just able to put that pressure. Alex Sola has also a great chin because there's moments that Mason was hitting him that I was like, dude, how is he still standing up? They're both dogs. They both deserve their performance bonuses. They put out a stellar show because honestly, this was the only fight that you could go and remember. The rest of this card was awful. Extremely awful. Which leads me into this one. Michael Page versus Sam Peterson. I don't know who in the right mind told Hunter or Sean Shelby or whoever, Campbell, who was in there discussing about matchmakings. You have Michael Page, who is a phenomenal fighter, great striker. Obviously, he is not known for great highlights, like in Bellator, for knocking out people and stuff. The level competition is absolutely different. But why would you pair him up with a former teammate? I don't even say former. I generally think they're current. He was just in his camp against Kevin and Jared Cannonier and shot a bullet. This was one of, if not the worst fight you could possibly ever see in your life. Sam Peterson did a phenomenal job engaging in the clinch, placing him against the fence, and having Michael Page to engage in the fight. The thing with Michael is that we've already seen how you kind of beat him. One, you got to be better than him in the grappling. Number two, you kind of have to wait for him to engage against you so you could counter or at least wrestle. It's not easy to get him down to the ground or hold him down, but still. I just don't like these type of matchups. And I think this was Michael Page's last fight in his contract. So it's just going to be very difficult for him to negotiate for his next contract. He is 4-1. His only loss was against Ian Gary. But this doesn't help him in moving to the title. Actually absurd what they're doing to his career, especially him being 38 and late in the age. I get it. He's able to bounce around in 2 weight divisions. He was at middleweight against Jared, against Enshada, then went welterweight against Kevin and Ian Gary, and now he's back to welterweight against Sam Peterson. I just think he should just stay at welterweight, help him move up, or fight against Leon Edwards next. All right. Help the guy out. I like Michael Page. I think he could be I want to say a star, but just give him matchups that work with him. Don't give him someone that's unranked, a former, like a teammate. All right. That understands his game. And this is what ends up having. Teammates versus teammates don't make fun fights. They understand each other. This is actually absurd. So, my ranking, I'll say, not even ranking it. I have to give this fight a 4 out of 10. The reason why is because it was better than the BMF in terms of that fight of the year, which really carried this card. Movsar versus Murphy was pretty fun, kind of controversial. Was it robbery? I don't think so. But it should have been a draw. But you just can't make a draw. Not the state of featherweight right now. And it was a fight night. It's not a numbered card, so it can be heavily criticized. But man, dude, even from the prelims all the way to the end, there was no exciting matchups. There's just no fights that I could just say I could remember beside Sosa and Jones. This was not a good card. And it sucks because those English fans had to stay up so late just to see this. And there isn't big English star. And I don't know if it's like the Paramount thing. I don't know if it's a fighter thing. But UFC has not been good in this first quarter. It really hasn't. Which this leads to my next 2 fights. Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer fights this weekend. I'm really concerned for Izzy because Pyfer can knock him out. We've already seen Izzy get dropped 3 times in a row. 4 if you're counting the first fight against Alex where he got finished. But his chin has been questionable. Sean was able to get him to the ground, almost finishing him in the first round. Imavov finished him. Dricus du Plessis knocked him to the ground and got him to his back and submitted him. This is a make it or break it for Izzy. And we'll go more in discussion on my next video on this fight, which will be coming up tomorrow. But I don't know how I feel about this fight. I like to see Joe Pyfer move up. He's a new face. He's young. He's an American. And this brings up hype to the division. Especially because potentially, if he wins this fight, they could have Pyfer versus Fluffy, Pyfer versus DDP, Pyfer versus, I don't know, Allen. But there's better matchups up there. Or Kai Barallo, too. Right? He's a new face, fun matchups. And this is the thing with Izzy too. He's one of the greats, all right? One of the greatest, if not the greatest middleweight champion of all time. He has been there, has done that. He has put UFC on his back. And obviously, you can't really sugarcoat things. Obviously, Izzy probably asked for this fight. He wants that feeling again. Maybe not run for the title. He kind of understands he's kind of out of the picture, but he wants fun fights, fun highlights. But I just don't know how mentally he's going to go in here. But this is one of the fights that should be transitioning to a better second quarter of the year, which another fight that I'm excited about. Carlos Ulberg versus Jiří Procházka. Another video that will be coming out more in depth soon. I'm probably going to do a video summary, video edits. I like this fight. I really do. There's a lot of people that are concerned about the fighting styles. Look, as a fighter, you have to fight whoever they put in front of you. You can't be cherry picking. All right, this will be Jiří's toughest matchup since Alex Pereira, and this is Carlos Ulberg ultimate test. All right, look, both of these fighters are great. Obviously, Carlos Ulberg is in a 9-fight winning streak. I think 10 or 9, but he's been beating everybody in front of him. The only fight that I don't give him the fight was Jan Blachowicz. I genuinely do think Jan won that fight. But hey, he was smart on attacking the legs, fighting from distance, not engaging. He's been a lot more disciplined on keeping his hands up, because in his earlier career, he had him low. That's how he got finished. But this is a phenomenal fight for him because Jiří is going to make it dirty. We know how he fights. He's extremely unpredictable, unorthodox. He's going to get in your face. And the one thing that Carlos has to be worried about is this is a 5-round fight. All right. Jiří's been those 5 rounds. I don't think Carlos has been. I think most of his time he's been in 3 rounds. And then one time he had a 5-round. He knocked out Dominic Reyes, but I don't think was that a main event? I think so. But he finished him in the first round. Jiří, obviously, unless you're Alex Pereira, he's beaten literally everyone else. And this is a good test for him too. Obviously, he has the birth of his child that same weekend. He's already over here in Miami. He's training. He's getting acclimated. They have plenty of time. This is in the 11th of April. I like this matchup. I'll go in more in depth about this, but these 2 fights should be prompting to the UFC to get in a better area that leads to the White House. But hey, thank you for watching this video. I know it's been a while. I will come back with more content this week. We'll be back on the regular schedule. This will not happen. I do have vacation next month, but I'm still planning on pre-recording a bunch of videos before that so we could have everything set up. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, week, and I'll see you tomorrow.